Welcome back to the Single Malt Review. You know, one of the good things about Scotch whisky is you don't just have to drink it. If you like, you can mix it into a cocktail and then drink it.
It's more versatile stuff than people think, and we thought since it was such a nice afternoon and we had a bit of spare tape, we would have a little venture into the single cocktail review and just see what we can come up with. So what I'm going to attempt to make, no promises, is a what's known as a Rob Roy, which is effectively just a Whisky Manhattan, really, or a Scotch Whisky Manhattan. My favourite is the old-fashioned, but we didn't have any oranges, so alas, we'll just have to try this one. So, let's see how it turns out.
We're using Glenfarclas 105. Want something that's got a clean, clear flavour, but also a big, impactful strength.
Which I recommend for old-fashions as well as Manhattans because it has a good, robust flavour and it has a really good, robust strength. And that's really quite important for anything mixed with ice because that's going to give you 10% dilution immediately. So, I'll try and be really clever here and do this without any measurements. I'm not too bad at mixing the old cocktail. We'll just have to see how we go. I usually go with about a 3-to-1 for my Manhattans. They're a very, very simple cocktail. They really only comprise of spirit, usually bourbon, and the old red vermouth, of course. And the rest is largely tweaking agents and garnish. So, put a splash of that in there. More than I'd normally put in, but given the strength of the whisky involved, it can take a little bit more red vermouth than you'd think. So, we'll just give it just a little splash of the ubiquitous Angostura bitters, also producers of fairly okay rum, depending on which one you get. I don't think we've reviewed an Angostura rum, but we'll probably get there sooner or later. Give it a bit of a swizz with ice. I'm unceremoniously using a pint glass here because I lost my shaker, but truth about cocktails is it doesn't really matter what you use. It's about the ingredients, not the equipment. Now, given there's high strength whisky in here, I'm going to give it more like a 30 seconds than a 20 seconds because that can handle a bit extra dilution that a less robust whisky might not be able to. Lovely Tupperware strainer here. And you know you've used a good robust whisky when you get a lovely cloudy one coming out of there because unchill filtered as 105 is, we're immediately getting that crash cooling and dilution effect bringing out all those oils. So we know it's a nice unchill filtered one. I like to garnish with just a little twist of lemon. I do not go for the cherry thing. I think those are just a little bit gross, especially with something a bit more delicate than bourbon like whiskey. I think a twist of lemon provides something just a little more subtle, if not a little more flavourful. Those cherries are just a wee bit loud, really. So, let's see what we've got.
Ooh. Smells of oranges and lemons.
It does indeed. That's pretty promising, actually.
Oh, that is sweet and sharp. Lovely and herbaceous thanks to the vermouth and the bitters. A little bit nutty. A big bit Glenfarclasy.
No, that's pretty much what I was going for. You can still taste that it's Glenfarclas, but the edge has been taken off. That red vermouth, it's surprisingly nutty. Nuttiness is one of the things that really brings out, and I think it's quite good. It makes a sweet drink like 105 really very savoury. Yeah, that's pretty good. I won't give it a score because I made it, and that would be terribly dishonest, but I think that's a hell of a way to drink 105 on a hot day and more of a a casual environment.
It's a cool, classy, sweet, approachable cocktail, but still respectfully strong. It commands a bit of attention, a bit of care.
Yeah, it's a drier cocktail than you used to, though. If you like your cocktails sweet, stick to bourbon or make an old-fashioned. Old-fashioned is That can take pretty much any whiskey, though I'd stay away from the peated. But because of that addition of sugar water, sugar syrup, as you're supposed to say, it's a much sweeter thing. This one here, the Manhattan, the Rob Roy, as we're supposed to call it, that only has the vermouth in it in a very small amount, so there's very little actual sweetness there. So it's really just tweaks and accentuates the whiskey you start off with. So good to start with a good old sweet one like 105.
That lemon just adds a real citrus hit, a bit of fresh, fruity flavour.
Pretty tasty, if you ask me. Oh, one more thing. Stir it, strain it. Don't leave it in with the ice like some places do. It's no good. That means you've got to drink it in the first 2 minutes or it just spoils. And that's unfair to whoever's drinking it and it's pointless. Give it a good chill strain, serve, away you go. You can take your time if you want to and nothing will change in the whiskey. It'll just get a bit warm and that's not such a bad thing. Anyway, this has been the single cocktail review, something a bit more casual. And we will catch you back next time with something a little more proper, we'll say. Sláinte, or possibly just cheers, Prost, whatever you like. Catch you later.